So before we get started, okay, great. So um, let's start from the top again. I'll tell you who I am, and then we'll just get to know each other again. We're here today to talk about customer acquisition and customer retention. And you might be saying, okay, well, who's Kathleen Vicenzotti, and how does she know anything about anything that she's going to be sharing with me? And I thought it'd be just helpful to tell you a little bit about who I am and where I'm coming from, because I've been where you are at. I have an MBA from the University of Pittsburgh in sales and marketing, as well as finance concentration. I have been in your seat, whether you're a single producer, maybe you own an agency. I have built multiple companies, one of which was a captive State Farm insurance agency. I was a traveling agent. I was in the top of our market, and I grew that from scratch. So I grew a scratch agency to a multi-million-dollar agency over 10 years that I had that. My job now is that I love to coach and mentor others to make an impact doing what they love. And that's why I'm here with you sharing today to help you be successful at your passions. And I know you guys are part of the Women of Insurance group, and assuming most of you are in the insurance industry in some form. And thank you for those of you who commented in the chat box about what you're hoping to get out of today, because my job is to fulfill your mission and to help you find ways to be more effective doing what you love to do. And I have 35 plus years proven experience in the field. I've been a traveler earner, top recognition in both the direct selling industry as well as the insurance industry, and super excited just to share what I've learned with you so that I can help maybe shorten the learning curve for some of you, or give you some of my experience that I have unlocked along the way to help you be more effective and productive doing what you are doing. So again, if you're just joining, thanks again. And please put in the comments where you're zooming in from and maybe what you hope to get out of today. We are going to be talking about customer acquisition and the expense of getting new customers. And once you have those customers, you want to keep them because it costs you a lot to get them in the door. And, you spend a lot of time, energy, and resources to attract them. And the key is once you have them as a customer, you want to make them feel valued. And our mission here at Codebreaker Global, which is the parent company of whom I'm a trainer and affiliated for, our mission is really to help make people matter so that you can create true connections and really build relationships with your customers to keep them part of your agency, not to have them leave you. So part of what we're going to talk today is about cracking the code to increase your influence on the front end to attract them to your business, but then also maintaining that relationship to keep them part of your ecosystem and your agency. Meanwhile, giving you the opportunity to increase your income and the impact you're making. Because as we know, when somebody comes into your agency, it probably takes you, do you guys know, anybody know how long it takes you to recoup your investment back on a new customer? And if you don't know those numbers, those are some things you might want to start looking into as an agency owner, or talk to your agency owner. Or if you're running an agency, like knowing how much it costs you to get a customer, and then how long to recoup your investment back on your commissions of that customer, right? Sometimes it might take 2 to 3 years before you're even earning a return based on what it's spent to get that customer in the door. And today we're just going to really talk about high level concepts to help you really solidify those relationships once they're in the door, and really brainstorm ideas and things you can put into place in your agency to recognize who they are, what's important to them, and then keep them part of what you're doing. And we're going to do it based on a concept and a methodology called BANK. How many of you have heard of BANK? Has anybody here heard of BANK? Put in the chat box if it's first time, brand new to BANK, or some of you might already know what BANK is. And BANK is actually an acronym that stands for 4 fundamental personality types. And we're going to delve into those today. It's a blueprint, action, nurturing, and knowledge. And these are the personalities that create the customer base of your agency. It's been proven thousands of years ago that people are fundamentally hardwired in one of 4 personality groups. How many of you have ever taken a personality test? Anybody? Right? And you found out some fascinating things about you. But what we're going to do is use personality and people's values when it comes to why they buy. See, a lot of personality profiling in the past or that you might have taken is based in psychology. We're going to talk about personality from the frame of reference of biology. If there's 4 fundamental personality types in the world, do they make buying decisions differently? And Sherry Tree, the author of the book Why They Buy, proved that yes, they do. That you can scientifically predict buying behavior in less than 90 seconds once you crack their code or you understand what their personality values are according to banks. So we're going to share a little bit about that with you. And yeah, Monica did DISC back in the day, and DISC is great. And what's fascinating is that personalities, science in the different groups, when you lay them on top of each other, they could be very similar, but then they're very different. And we're going to explore some of that today. So thanks for commenting and sharing. And I do want to just tell you, BANK again is that acronym for the personality types, because this is personality based. And it's also profit focused, designed with a mission to help you have a profitable agency, a profitable business, and become a profitable producer so that you can make a greater impact, not only in your family, but your community and the things that are important to you. And it's all based on people, being people centered, knowing that every interaction that you have is with another human being. And so we're really going to be focused on that person sitting across from you. Because if we put in the chat box right now, all of us would have different feelings and value systems based on what we believe. And the goal here is to really understand the person sitting across the desk from you or sitting across the screen from you, to understand what's important to them, and then alter our communication pattern, our communication style, so that we're making a true connection and serving others, right? Because we are also a purpose-driven company, and our whole goal is to serve others, to help them know that they're doing business with you and that you are there to meet their needs, to give them products and services that they need in their life, to give them the security and the protection that they need and that they want, right? Because it's all about who. It's all about them. And, many of you here are, we're in sales. And if you've ever read the book, has anybody read the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad? It's a fascinating book. I recommend, if you haven't read it, to read it. Current, great. How they're currently reading it. And, it's not the number one skill by accident, really. And it's not the number 2, it's not the number 3. It is number 1 for a reason, because we are always selling. Sales is the number 1 skill to be in business. If you cannot sell your ideas, your products, your services, your programs, whether it's to a customer, whether it's to your fellow employees, to your boss, we all are selling in some form or fashion, right? And we should never be ashamed to use the word sales. You can switch it out and call it influence. But being able, if we truly, truly are passionate about what we're doing, and we truly believe we have a product that is going to enrich and enhance our customers' lives, or an idea that is good for our organization, the only failure is not to be able to sell it to somebody, right? Or to be heard in presenting it so that that person can make a decision, having the right information. So we should be proud that we're in sales and that we are offering products and services that people need to enrich and enhance their lives. And for years, we've been told sales is a numbers game. Has anybody told that in order to get more yeses, you need to get more what? No's, right? Yep, we all said that. You guys all heard that. And, that is probably one of the biggest lies ever told by sales professionals, is that we are not here just to burn and churn numbers. Yes, you're probably working leads, and the more leads that you're buying and the more leads that you're doing, the more at-bats you have. There's probably sales reps or trainers that are teaching you, it's just a numbers game. The more no's you're gonna get more yeses. But when in reality, in order to get more yeses, you have to do what? Get more yeses. And, if you resign yourself to the fact that sales is a numbers game, basically that means you don't have any influence in the outcome, which we all know is not true. We just talked about that. The ability to get a yes is based on presenting options that are going to connect and resonate with a customer. And we're going to teach you how to unlock that yes, move the conversation forward, but then also keep that customer as part of your business because of the relationship that you're going to build with them. And it all comes back to that secret that sales is not a numbers game. It is a people's game. And we're going to talk about how to connect with people and really maximize not only the customers coming in your front door, but then also preventing them from going out the back door. And we're going to do it from the lens of the science, which is personality science. It's not a marketing scheme, or it's not just some good sales strategy that came up. It's really a proven science that is empirical. It's data driven. It's rooted in science. And there are 4 different personalities that we're going to talk about here today. And if, as we said, if you've ever taken a personality assessment, you know that they've been around for years, and that there's all different kinds, but the one we're going to focus on is the science of personality from the lens of sales and influence, and how you can create the yes, avoid the no, and looking at through the lens of biology, the science of buying behavior. What makes one person says yes and another person say no is very different than whether they're an introvert or an extrovert. And that's what most other personality assessments tell us. They tell us about our personality. Are we a driver? Are we an introvert, extrovert? No, we want to know what's motivating you to say yes or no. And we're going to crack the personality code and take it to the bank within our agencies, right? And, you know, Tony Robbins said, let your prospect determine your presentation. And if there's 4 personality types, how many presentations should we have? 4. We should have one for each of the different personality types. And, you know, this gets back to, if you're just using one pitch to your customers, maybe you have a life insurance plan, or maybe you have a Medicare or Medicaid gap coverage that Medicare gap coverage that you are promoting, and you have one pitch, right? The common mistake is that you deliver the right script only 25% of the time. That's 1 in 4 times. Because if there's 4 different personalities, what's going to resonate with one might not resonate with the other 3, or in fact might even turn off the other 3 if you approach it in the wrong way. What you want to make sure is that your communication pattern is matching and aligning with your prospect, with your customers. And this is before and after the sale. And what the most common mistake is, if you're doing it right 1 out of 4 times, what's happening? 3 out of 4 times, you're delivering the wrong script. So, for example, if I am an action personality, I just want the bottom line. I want a high level overview. I want flexibility, get in and out, versus somebody who is a blueprint that we're going to talk about, wants a more structured format, wants a formal presentation, wants to know all the details, right? We want to make sure that we're identifying who our prospect is and delivering them the information that they need to make a decision, not what we feel is important to make a decision. Will just take a little question here. How many of you, being in insurance, we know that the details matter, right? How many of you feel like when you're delivering a policy, you have to give them all the details up front, right? And you want to make sure that somebody knows every single thing about what they're buying. That might be a common perception, right? That we have to tell them everything. Some people want high level overview, other people want all of it. So what we have to do is distinguish. Not everybody always wants everything the same way. And the Challey Group did a study that validated this, that only 18% of the buyers will buy from a salesperson who doesn't match their personality style, versus 82% success rate when personality types are aligned. So let's dig into the different personality types. And this is where I'm going to ask you to take out a pen and paper, and you can ask some questions. And I want you to think, as I'm going through here, if you haven't taken our personality assessment yet through Bank, you're going to have an opportunity to do that at the end of my presentation. But listen to how I'm describing some of these customers, and I want you to think about yourself, which one speaks to you as a producer, but then also think about some customers in your agency you think that this might resonate with. So the first personality type we're going to dig into is blueprints. So we're going to talk about some selling styles of a blueprint. So blueprints value these 12 values here up here. They value stability, structure, systems, planning, processes, predictability. Hold on, what happened? I lost my screen. Let's try to do that again. Isn't it funny, technology? Thank you for being patient here with me. Getting back to our blueprint customer, right? They value processes predictability. They value the fact that my screen's not going to go off in left field, right? They value responsibility, duty, rules. Credentials are very important to a blueprint personality type, titles and tradition. This type of personality is somebody might be colder, more formal to approach, and basically, you know, Bs typically feel guarded and skeptical during the sales process. And they are very budget conscious, but don't want to share what their budget is with you because that is where they feel they have the upper hand or leverage when they're doing business with you. Blueprints you might find tend to shop around and get several quotes before deciding. Once they choose whoever they're going to do business with, they remain incredibly loyal. They're going to stay with your agency for years or even a lifetime, as long as you follow through and continue to be trustworthy and that you don't violate any of the values that they value, meaning they are going to be the type of person who wants a structured systems. Are you going to do an annual review with them? They're going to value planning and processes. They want to know what next steps are. What is the package you're presenting to? How does it fit into their plan or their process? They are going to expect you to honor the rules, to follow the processes and systems, and getting a B to switch from another carrier to you will be an uphill battle. You have to prove why it's riskier for them to stay where they are at versus to do business with you. So that's a blueprint. So anybody here think of some customers that might be blueprints? And then we're going to dig deeper into each personality type, but I want to give you a high level overview of each. The next one is an action personality. Actions are, you know, red. They are like firecrackers. They're probably talk fast, move fast. I tend to be an action personality. The blueprint side of me really struggled when I had my insurance agency because I love freedom, flexibility, spontaneity. Action, opportunity, excitement, attention, stimulation, competition, winning, fun, image, right? A's love sales. Closing a big deal is exciting, right? No matter which side you're on, they usually feel comfortable with the sales process, both as a salesperson and a buyer. If your offer speaks to their lifestyle and they feel that you or your agency is the best, they are primed to close fast. They just, you know, if they like, know, and trust you, they get a good vibe from you, they're quick to make decisions, they appreciate the bottom line. They are somebody who does not want to be confused and overwhelmed with details. During any sale, they feel happier when you get straight to the point. Too much fluff will bore them quickly, and action types go with their gut. They want the best. So they're going to spend top dollar, premium dollar to access the coverage and the policies that are going to meet their needs. But only if you seem as awesome as them. They want to feel like that you get them, right? So that's an action personality type. Can you guys think about any action customers that maybe you have? These are probably the people who are not like a blueprint making an appointment to meet with you. They're the ones that say, oh, my policy cancels at midnight tomorrow and I need a new one today. Can you rewrite me? Or I need to get this in place. You know, they're probably last minute pop-ins, drop-ins, or the ones that you really have a hard time getting their attention, whereas the blueprint personality types are the ones that would prefer a scheduled appointment. They're going to want to know that you're starting on time. And again, we're going to dig into some of these a little bit deeper, but I just want to give you the high level overview. Let's talk about nurturing. Nurturing is the third personality type, and it's N, and they are warm like sunshine, sweet like honey. They value relationships, authenticity, personal growth, significance, teamwork, involvement, community, charity, ethics, harmony, morality, and contribution. These are the people who want to know that doing business with you is more important to you to serve them than the money. They are very uncomfortable around sales. Nurturers do not like sales if it's just about the money, but they love the opportunity to make an authentic connection, even with a salesperson. They need to believe that you care more about them than their dollar. They are very protective of their friends and family, so they need to feel really good about the company and the product or services you represent. Reputation of your agency is going to matter, of you as an agent is going to matter. Nurturers also purchase based on their intuition. Actions trust their gut. Nurturers trust their intuition, and how they feel about the overall experience with you is going to determine how they buy. They want to do business with authentic friends. They want to be your friends. Some of the other personalities might not want to be friends, but they will stay with your agency if they feel as though they're part of your inner circle and part of the bigger picture of your agency. They want to be included in part of your community, and really just know that you care about them and their business. The last personality type we're going to talk about is Ks, and Ks value things such as learning, intelligence, logic, self-mastery, technology, research and development, science, universal truths, expertise, competence, accuracy, and the big picture. What do you think knowledge make decisions based on? Not feeling, it's not intuition or gut. What do they use? Their brain. They're very cerebral. Ks are very skeptical. Yes, right? Facts, information. Ks are very skeptical of the sales processes, same as the Bs, but they're even more logical in their approach. Emotional appeals quickly. Emotional appeals, like if you get emotional around a K, you're going to repel them. They don't want to buy based on the emotion. So these are hard to, like, especially being in life insurance or some of the insurances we sell, you want to tap into the emotions, like you want to leave their loved ones protected, right? Ks feel uncomfortable about any sale in which they do not have all the information or which is based in feeling or emotion. They want to do their own research, and you have to approach them from a logical, financial reason of why your product or service or policy makes sense for them, right? Don't expect a fast sale with a K. They need to take their time. So if you seem impatient to the close, you're going to turn them off. You'll only engage knowledges in sales if you are also just as engaged, meaning expect to ask lots of questions. Give them time to ask questions. This is where you might have folders or links or Dropbox links available to share information. They need to collect all the data because they don't want to make a mistake or buy the wrong policy, right? So that is a K. How many of you think of, based on what I just shared, just this high level quick overview, what do you think you resonate with most based on the 4 personality types? And like I said, we're going to share the link for you to crack your code. Matter of fact, I think Tracy shared it in a message to me. I could just share it for the group, I think. But I don't want you to run off and go do it right now because I still have more to tell you. But if you want to crack your code, I'm putting it in the chat box so you have it. Action, nurturing, information, facts. Perfect. Thanks, guys, for sharing with me. So what I want to do now is kind of talk about attracting them on the front end, but how do we keep these different personalities in the back end? Now, I really want to dig in. Again, this is where you might want to take some notes. You can come back and replay it. I really want to dig into the blueprint again. Like the greeting for them is much more formal. You might notice them when they walk into your office, they're going to be on time. They probably want to set an appointment. These are somebody that you can't just call up quick and say, hey, can you come into my office tomorrow? They're going to want a planned appointment, right? Rules matter when you're selling to blueprints, and you should follow them, right? They're appreciative of details in writing. Anything you can do to confirm an appointment, confirm changes to a policy, anything that you can give them in writing. And if you provide a quote detailing everything included black and white, they will feel better about your ability to follow through. Again, they don't like to share their budget, even if they have one. One of the tips I used to use about with a blueprint is I would ask them for their current policies, and maybe they send it over so you can compare coverages for them. But what you'll find sometimes blueprints will do is they'll white out the price that they're currently paying. Has that ever happened to you as an agent? They send me all the data and they wipe out. It's like, that's a good way to kind of get to know where they're coming from or what's important to them. And then you also have to explain the why behind your prices. If you're higher, maybe they are shopping, and if you are comparing policies with them, you really want to explain why your price is a little bit higher, what additional coverages, maybe different services that your office does. Maybe it's the rating of the backer of your policy. That also is going to speak to a blueprint. One of the things that I would say when it comes to blueprints, another thing you want to think about is blueprints are, like we said, very budget conscious, right? What do you think that means if you have a rate increase? Remember, we're talking about retention. So you get them in the door, you sell them, they realize doing business with you is less riskier than staying where they're at. They sign up with your agency, and all of a sudden you realize they have a rate increase or a change to a policy. They will want more info on the why behind it, right? Yep. And then the other thing too, what are these also going to appreciate? They're going to want a heads up. They're the ones who are probably calling you up and saying, hey, how come my auto deduction was $2 higher this month or $3 higher this month? Me, I'm an action. I probably wouldn't even notice it. You could probably add $50 a month to my bill. I wouldn't even notice it. It just depends. A blueprint, though, however, is going to come to the pennies details, right? And so from a retention standpoint, any changes or anything that's going to affect either their finances or their policies, this is somebody you might want to be proactive with, and reach out to them and say, hey, we have new changes going into effect on this date or policy increases on this date. I want to call you and walk through some of the changes and help you understand why this is happening, or let them know, oh, we made a change to your policy. You might see it on this billing cycle. They want all the details in front. They don't like surprises. And when you can build trust with them, they're going to stick with you longer. These are the type of people that if they get surprises in the mail, maybe from your carrier, and you hadn't forewarned them, they're the ones who are probably going to be picking up the phone. So as we're going through and talking about different personality types, and as you're building your book of business, one of the things that I found really helpful is just knowing who your customer was in your CRM, making a note like, Mr. Jones is a blueprint. So let's make sure that we are having systems in place in our agency that are keeping him informed of anything that's going to affect their policies or business. The other thing is with a blueprint, you always want to be on time, no matter how casual the event is. These really want to feel confident in you, and they are less likely to buy when they feel uncertain or if there's a risk to doing business with you. They don't like things to be unpredictable, so you have to show them that you're minimizing their risk. The other thing is blueprints also want to follow the same process in every interaction with your prospects, meaning they like stability. So they are somebody that would appreciate an annual review. They're somebody who wants to know, you can schedule it a year in advance for them probably, or 6 months in advance, and they would honor that commitment. So habits allow your messages to get through. Another thing to do is be over-prepared for every call with them. You want to make sure that if they ask for a document or detail, that you can give it to them. So bring everything you possibly need for a sales call if you're meeting them in their home. If they want to read policy details, information, you want to make sure you have that with them, or you have a link that you can send them right away, so they can trust you to anticipate their needs and take care of the details. The other thing is you also want to stay polite and relatively formal when dealing with them, unless you know them really well. They appreciate the professionalism, and doing business with them is a business call and not a social gathering. So your demeanor should always be professional and not overly casual, like might be important to a nurturer, but not a blueprint. So those are some tips on blueprints. Based on what we said, what are some things you can do in your agency knowing this personality type? Does anybody have any systems or things in their agency that they want to share that blueprints would appreciate or love? Maybe it's an onboarding process when you get a new client. Blueprints would love the onboarding process to come in and meet you and do a review. Maybe you pick up their home and auto and you want to go deeper in the household with life, accident, or health, right? Oh, that would be great, Heather. You can add these personality types to their records. Yeah, and I'll tell you about that. There is a way to use, I will show you how you can crack your customers' bank codes through 4 different ways. You can do it digitally, you can do it through cards, you can do it through using some AI, and then you can also use it through some speed coding techniques. But we'll talk about different ways you can do that. So that's your blueprint. Let's talk about, anybody have any questions on blueprints or anything else they want to add? Blueprints, like, again, keep this customer by scheduling reviews, keeping them advanced of any changes or anything that's going to affect their budget or their money. Always be professional, be on time, keep them informed of the process, and you'll keep their loyalty. They're very loyal customers. They're okay with the price increase as long as you call and let them know ahead of time why it's happening, and that you are still, maybe you're shopping their policy then for them. Maybe there were some changes, you know, they're going to appreciate that type of a service. So let's talk about A's. So A's have a short attention span. So here, if you're selling to actions, you better catch their interest fast. And some secrets to maximize success with A's is that for them, it's all about lifestyle, right? They will always appear successful, even if they're struggling. So they're the kind of fake it till they make it. They want you to think that everything is all good on the surface. But what's important as an agent, right? Somebody who's helping them deal with fiduciary responsibilities, protection, you really need to know what's going on, right? If an A doesn't have money, they might say that it's elsewhere, but what you can do is give them options, right? Maybe payment plan options, or don't make an A feel trapped in a box. You want to give them flexibility and freedom. So with an A, doing business with them might see alternate ways for them to get a policy, start a policy with you without making them feel bad about their situation, right? Like you could say, well, we have a good, better, and a best policy. A's will want the best, and they'll want you to show them ways how they can afford to get it. You know, A's are also going to be looking at your office. Is it, you know, neat and clean and up to their standards? They want to feel like they're doing business with somebody they like, know, and trust, that they make a good impression on them. You know, look at the atmosphere. These are like VIP treatment. They want to feel special. They buy on instinct. Positive first impressions are crucial. High energy in an office, greeting somebody who comes in. Ask for the yes fast. Just assume the sale. They're going to go with the gut. They'll make a snap decision on your offer if you make them feel like it's going to be the best solution for them and their lifestyle. So don't wait around to ask for a yes. A lot of times A's are also salespeople, and they will respect the ask. So if you're a nurturer or high other codes, you have to bring up your A to deal business with them. And these can be your biggest buyers in the long run. They want the best. And if they decide your product and service fits the bill, they're going to go all in. So you should ask for the big sale or the big policies right away. Again, exclusive top tier offer. Also, you're selling what it can do for them, the lifestyle. Like, just envision like your agency, they won't have to worry about it. Like, an A is busy, they got lots of things happening. They want to know that they can trust it. They're going to have the coverage and that you're going to handle it, right? How will this make their life more awesome? Focus on the impact your agency can have to service them, because they're spontaneous and fun. And if they change the details of your sales meeting at the last minute, that this might be an A personality, or they're going to come in late, they're going to appreciate you being flexible with them. Some other things with A's, again, they like VIP treatment. So it could be a exclusive gift with offer, like, like giving them presents. They might like gifts for doing business with you, or they would be the type of customer who, if you had tickets to some event in town that was, a prestigious event, they would feel honored to come as your guest, right? So as you're developing the relationships, they're also the type of clients that aren't as loyal as a blueprint. So they're the ones that would be, if they find somebody else who's cooler, more fun, gets them better, they're just, okay, I'll just switch to somebody else, right? So you want to just kind of acknowledge, treat them like the VIP that they are, and then keep them as one of your customers. So then the sales secrets about the next code is our huggers, our nurturers, and relationships matter. So when you're selling to nurturers, you better want to make real connections. And just hold on. Okay, sorry about that. So how many of you identified as nurturers? I saw a few of you, right? Hugs, right? These are the people who want to come in and hug in your office. You don't want to hug an action or blueprint when they come in your office. You want a formal handshake or high five or head nod, glad you're here, right? Nurturers, relationships matter when you're selling to nurturers. So you better make a real connection with them. And some secrets are that they're your best source for referrals too. You probably figured this out already. So nurturers are well connected and they love to help people. So if you help them and find a great value, they will already be promoting to their network in a big way. And if you want a more formal referral, just ask them for referrals. These are people who can help you tap into their family and their other networks, right? Building the relationships is sometimes as simple as sending a note, thanking them for their business, giving them a free gift. They appreciate if they refer somebody to you, they're going to want you to thank them for that referral, and they'll keep doing it. They love chit chat. They want to get to know you. They want you to treat them like they're a friend. These are the clients who probably hang too long in your office and sit around and talk, right? They're the ones who are going to appreciate the cup of coffee that you're offering in your office or the cookies that you have out for them. And when I had my agency, we used to bake cookies. I had a little cookie oven in my break room, and we used to have fresh baked cookies like on Saturdays when customers would come in. Ems love that type of thing. And, just generally talking to them about their needs, their family, how this protection, this is what's going to really resonate with them. And you want to show them how they can benefit by doing business with you and how you're going to just take care of them and really take time to develop the relationship to close it with them. And then the secret is the story behind the product, like why they need it, and sharing stories with them is going to be really helpful. And just connect with them and connect with their network. These are the type, if you have like agency picnics or fundraising events that you're participating in, the nurturers will want to be included. They're also going to want to know things you're doing in your community. They are also the ones who are probably involved in things in your community that you can reach out to, and they'll plug you into those different things. So that is a nurturer, right? And some things to keep business with them, again, is letting them, sending them gratitude, Thanksgiving cards, sending them thank you for your business, right? These are the type of people, like actions, like you can save your stamp. If you know somebody's in action, if you send me a thank you card, I'm like, oh, that's nice, but I'm going to throw it away. A nurturer is going to put it on their mantle, keep it, right? So your nurturers, to keep them as your customers, stay connected to them. And then the last one is your Ks. These are people who don't like to be touched at all, typically, right? And so don't take it personal. So facts matter to K. So when you're selling to a knowledge, you have just come prepared, right? Secrets that'll maximize your success with a K is that there is no such thing as too much information for a K. Basically, they want the information. And what you have to do is make sure that your sales process is logical and fits within the big picture. They tend to get stuck in analysis paralysis. So you have to walk them through questions that are going to help move them forward, right? So the other thing too is K's don't want to see you struggling with technology or systems, right? So make sure you feel real comfortable using, if you're doing a presentation on a PowerPoint or something, like my little blip earlier, they would be like, oh, this girl doesn't know what she's doing. She's struggling using Zoom. I don't know, were there any K's here that felt that way? They want to know that you are the expert, right? They are the ones who are going to do research on your policy. They might know if things are included or not included that you might not even know. I've had K's in the past that have schooled me on my policies, right? And so what you want to do is make sure you're willing to do an in-depth analysis for them, to review line by line items with them, making sure that nothing is missed at the table. These are the type of, if you're selling a bigger policy to them, don't hesitate to get the experts involved, maybe your corporate representative or the underwriter involved, or maybe the analyst involved to really answer any questions that they have. So take it as an opportunity to face them head on, and try not to contradict them, because they don't want to be, they might question things about your product. You don't want to insult them. But what you want to just do is just honor that that's who they are, and that they're a know-it-all, pretty much. Case. Sometimes don't, if you're okay, that's okay. Just be aware of that. Other people might have other perspectives of you, and that what you have to do is understand and meet them where they're at, right? K's might need some time after your presentation to review it. Give them all the information up front. Sheldon Cooper's, you got it, right, Heather? You got it. They like to ask incredibly technical questions, but they don't always expect you to know the answer. As long as you can get them information, that's okay too. Again, that's when you bring in somebody who's an expert subject matter. So with K's, the other thing is, again, keep them updated on any policy changes. They probably, if you have new products coming out, they might like to learn about new products or opportunities that would serve them. If there's new things happening in your industry, they want to be upfront on the cutting edge. They might be also somebody who you would share any reviews or technical publications from your producer, like your company. So like, say, just for example, you're with Nationwide, and Nationwide was written up in an article about something, they would appreciate reading and learning about things like that. You can send that to those type of customers to just build that connection and trust factor with them. So those are just basically overview of the different personalities. And some of you might be asking, how do you know who somebody is, right? And put that in the checkbox. If you would like to be able to crack the codes of your customer, would it be helpful to know which of your customers are which of these 4 different personalities? Now, we have all these 4 personalities. You might be listening to me today saying, well, you know what? I'm a lot of these personalities. And it's true, because we all have a little bit of each of these personalities built within us. But what happens is when we're making buying decisions, some rise to the top. We're more dominant in others. So bank cards help a customer identify which is the most important values to them. And you can hand them physical cards. We have physical cards that you can get, find me, I can hook you up with some physical cards. And you just basically hand it to a customer and you say, hey, Mr. Customer, would you do me a favor? What's important to you here at our agency is making sure that we are meeting you and aligning with your values. You could just say, would you mind reading the information on these cards? Put them in order of most important to you, most like you, to least like you on the bottom. This is going to help me serve you, get to know you better, and save us both some time. And the reason you would want to hand this to the card is super easy. And all the times I've been doing it, nobody has turned me down. and they're going to take the cards because they're curious, right? They want to know what's on them. They're going to read the cards because it's about who? Is it about you or is it about them? It's about them, right? So they're curious. So they're going to read the card and they're going to put them in order and hand them back. Now, if somebody doesn't hand it back, you probably can tell what kind of personality they are. They're either a B or a K, because an action or a nurture is going to help you out and do it. The other two are more, they don't want to be wrong. They don't want to get it wrong. So they might stumble with them, but you've already been able to decode they're either a B or a K going forward. So handing cards is really a fun, interactive way. You know, a lot of agencies that I work with literally have the receptionist do it while they're waiting to meet with you, you know, or say, hey, while you're waiting for, you know, Mary, or you're waiting for Heather to come in, do me a favor, take a look at the information on these cards, put them in order, most like you to least like you. Some of you might want to get it ahead of time, or maybe you do it digitally. I did share the link in the chat box. We have a digital crack your code. You can go in and figure out what your bank code is. You can go in and take the crack code. We have an opportunity that you can have a unique link for your agency that you can send to your customers via email, maybe an onboarding meeting when people come in. Maybe you sell somebody a home and auto quote on the phone. You don't meet them. You come in, you can crack their bank code. You can send them a link to do that. There's a little QR code. You can actually scan my screen if you're following along to the recording. This will take you to the link where basically it comes up with the 4 cards I just showed you. You just put them in order, most like you to least like you, and you'll be able to crack your code. And if you're hesitant about it, sometimes people are like, well, I don't know if my customers would do that. I would say you need to get out of your head that's your own insecurity talking. Basically, when you hand somebody something, they're curious, it's about them. And if I said to you, well, geez, Mr. Customer, we all have different things that are important to them. And here at my agency, my job is to make sure I'm serving you. And I want to know what's most important to you and your values, so that I don't spend the next hour talking about what's important to me. I want to understand what's important to you as a customer so that I can serve you and give you the information you need to see if our agency is going to be a right fit for you. I mean, you can't argue with the fact, like all of a sudden your credibility just went up. All of a sudden they said, oh my goodness, wow, they really care about me. It's going to really speak to some of the codes, and the blueprints are going to appreciate it because you're very professional and it's systematic. And all you do is you crack the code by putting them in order. If you have the digital link, they can do it online. And then what the cool part is that we have cracked over 300,000 codes. Our mission is to crack 8 billion codes because everybody has a bank code. The whole thing is finding out what it is. Our goal is that everyone in the world should have their code cracked. So after this call, you can also share it with your family members too, because this information will not only help you in business, but also in personal situations. And, you know, Les Brown talks about how if you know their bank code, it's a total game changer. The system will really strengthen your confidence and expand your selling skills because now you know what's important to the person. And you can see like a blueprint is going to want system structure. They're not going to want the flexibility. The freedom is going to overwhelm them. You want to make sure that you're selling to your customers so that you can dramatically increase your income and serve them best. And the subscriptions, we have a couple of subscriptions that you can do so that you can unlock the bank passes for your agency. You can put them in emails. You can send them online. You can put them in social. You can send them to your current customer base to say, hey, you know, we want to make sure we're serving our customers the best way possible. Do a favor, crack your code for me. We have 2 subscriptions, a $29 a month subscription or a $99 a month subscription, so that you can crack the code. And then what we would do is we would send your customer the link where they can crack it online. It's a great way for you to generate more leads and convert more sales. That way you can put it as a tagline to your signature box on your email. You can literally send out an email with your bank pass to all your customers saying, hey, you know, again, I want to serve you better, make sure that we're meeting the values that are important to you as a customer. Take a minute and fill out this bank pass. And then what we're going to do is send them a report. They get a $99 value report about themselves. It's a personality report that tells them all about them, people are pretty fascinated by it. They're like, how do they know all that about me in just 90 seconds from filling out this quiz? We send them their bank code report and they can learn about themselves. But then more importantly, they're going to send you a bank code sales report that says, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Customer just crack their code. Here's their email. Here's their phone number. Here is their bank code. And here's the top tips to sell them. Good luck on your appointment. Here are things to say. Here are things to avoid. And it also includes, so that's really cool. It also gives you a dashboard so that you can see what your customers are attracting. Look at the bottom here of my screen. You can see here, if you had all the bank codes of your customers, wouldn't that be helpful to know if my book of business is mostly blueprints, actions, nurtures, or knowledge? It can give you lots of information. The first one is, wow, I must be in action. I'm attracting lots of actions, but how do I get more nurturers, blueprints, and knowledges into my agency? And then also, how can I create retention programs and formulas to speak to my customers, right? You know, who needs more communication? Like an action might not want to hear from you all the time. A nurture, a blueprint might want consistent points, right? Super helpful. And my Zoom might be slowing down a bit. We also have AI so that you can crack people's code. We can crack people's code. Oops, let's go back. The other thing is maybe they're not in front of you. They didn't want to crack their link. You can decode text, emails, websites, social posts, and blogs of your clients. So if your client sent you an email, you can copy and paste that email, put it in our Codebreaker AI. And what's going to happen is it's going to spit out the bar graph of their more action and how to approach it. And you also get sales tips, how to work with them. We also have a LinkedIn profile, Google Chrome extension, where you can get unlimited leads on LinkedIn. Maybe you're prospecting on LinkedIn for new customers. You can install the Chrome extension. You can see here up the top right. If you click that button, you don't even have to be friends with them on LinkedIn. You just have to go to their profile, click the code, and all of a sudden it is going to crack their code and tell you, oh, Esther is a nurture action. So what did that just do? It helped you not only position your presentation, knowing that relationships are important to her. She's also going to want to know the cliff notes of the policy. She doesn't need all the details to make a decision. She's going to buy with her intuition and her gut. And good luck. Have a great sales appointment with Esther. We also send monthly sales tips and training, sales secrets, like we shared today. On the different personalities, you get a new bank box every month with your $99 subscription. So you get lots of value for $99. And on top of that, today we have a special offer for the agents who are in the Women's of Insurance group who subscribe to the $99 subscription. We're going to give you a Kickstarter program that gives you 20 hours of more in-depth training on speaking to the personality codes for sales and relationships. And it's included with your $99 subscription. And the subscription you can cancel anytime. It's basically you pay $99. You can use it for a month. If you think it's adding value, keep it. If not, no worries. At least you tried it out, but you can keep the Kickstarter Pro bundle as well as some bank audios that you can download and listen to in the car when you're driving that talk all about this personality sales training more in depth. I mean, I just scratched the surface with you guys here today. There's so much we can dig into here. That's also included with your $99 a month subscription. So basically you have to ask yourself, you know, would investing in the training and learning more about this personality and having these tools help me not only get more customers on the front end, but now that I have my customer, how do I know who they are and how I can speak to them to keep them part of my agency so that I can continue to service them? Because the more customers you can keep in your agency, the more profitable you're going to be. They're going to lead you to more referrals, and they're also going to reduce your expenses because you won't have to attract as many new customers and spend money on leads. So if you're interested in getting started with the Empower subscription for $99, you can scan the QR code on the screen. Or maybe, Tracy, if you have the Empower subscription, you can post it in the chat box so that people can do that. And then again, you could try out the Bank Pass, the Code Breaker, AI, the Google Chrome extension, the monthly bank box. We have a private Facebook group for subscribers. And then Tracy just shared that here too in the group here. Plus you also get the bonuses today. So if you have the Empower subscription too, Tracy, you can share that in the box, maybe in the chat. So if anybody wanted to click the link. But based on, I have a couple minutes left. Does anybody have any questions for me, or I would love to know one or two takeaways from today's call. I want to thank you, Tracy and team, for allowing me to be with you today. Hopefully you got some value out of just identifying that customers have different values of what they come in. Really appreciate you being here. Anybody have any questions or anything? All right. And if you're just joining us or you missed part of it, I think Tracy is going to start. This was awesome. Thanks, Heather. Love it. Thank you so much for joining. You'll be able to watch the replay. I think they're going to share that with the group. It's also going to be on the YouTube channel for the Women of Insurance group. Thank you guys so much for joining. And again, if you are interested in just checking out what's included in the Empower subscription, you can scan the QR code on the screen. Get with our Facebook group. We have a bank Facebook group where it just delves into personality and how it can support you and your business to not only connect with customers before they become part of your agency, but also once you have them, how to keep them. So have a great day, everybody. Thanks again for stopping by. Appreciate the opportunity to share with you, and let's get out there and take it to the bank.